33-year-old Springfield man has been sentenced to life in prison without parole plus 100 years over a fatal stabbing. The stabbing occurred in December of 2019 of a 19-year-old woman in an isolated field. Missouri law required a life without parole sentence after a jury in May found Lonnie Williams guilty of murder in the first degree. The jury also convicted Williams of armed criminal action. The additional 100 years was added to the sentence on Friday after hearing a statement from the victim's mother. She described the pain in seeing her daughter's life cut short. One man was detained for a fatal shooting at a Kansas City gas station last night. Officers were dispatched to Quick Trip on Southwest Boulevard Saturday night, where they found two men with gunshot wounds in the parking lot. One man was declared dead on the scene, and the other was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police have not yet identified the names of the victims or details on the shooting suspect. Just over half of the eligible Americans are now fully vaccinated, but that's not enough to suppress the surge in new cases. Hospitals in several southern and Gulf states are filling up just as the debate over vaccine and masks continues. Here's ABC's Janae Norman with the details.
Hospitalizations continue to surge across the country, fueled mostly by the Delta variant.
So why are we here? I can't believe we're doing this again.
States with some of the lowest levels of vaccination, Louisiana, Florida, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Alabama, have seen vaccination rates increase, but are still leading the country with the highest case rates per capita.
We would not be in the place we are right now with this Delta surge if we'd been more effective in getting everybody to take advantage of these immunizations.
Florida, one of the hardest hit states, reporting a new pandemic record Friday, 23,000 new cases, hospital beds in short supply.
What we need to do is flatten that curve again, because we are getting patients at a higher rate and faster rate.
There are more children hospitalized in Florida with COVID-19 than anywhere else in the country.
The likelihood of a child getting serious disease compared to an elderly person or someone with an underlying condition is absolutely less. But less doesn't mean zero. These kids are getting sick. We've really got to make sure we protect them.
The rise in pediatric cases has many communities grappling with mask policies as children return to the classroom. Several school districts in Atlanta reporting hundreds of cases. One county quarantining students after an outbreak.
They said your children are here. They cannot go to the classes because they were exposed to COVID.
Florida's governor issued an executive order preventing mask mandates in schools, but some of the state's largest school districts have moved to require face coverings, though parents can opt out. Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
Wildfires are burning out of control in Northern California, sending a thick layer of smoke into southern Nevada. At one point, visibility was down to 2 miles across the valley. Clark County officials put out an alert today for high ozone levels, citing an unhealthy amount of smoke in the air. That alert has been extended through today. Officials suggest that everyone limit their outdoor activities while it's in effect. Young children, seniors, and people with respiratory or cardiac issues are most at risk.
This evening, Chicago mourns the loss of one of its bravest and finest. And we have another officer who is struggling and fighting for his very life.
One Chicago police officer is dead and another one is seriously hurt after a shooting in the city last night. Chicago PD said the officers were taken to the hospital in critical and serious condition. This woman, Officer Ella French, was pronounced dead. The officers were conducting a traffic stop when people in the car started shooting at them. The officers then returned fire and one suspect was hit. 2 suspects have been since taken into custody. Police say the incident is currently under investigation.
Well, we've seen a little bit of a break in these warmer temperatures, but coming up after the break, we're going to take another look at the forecast to see these warmer temperatures.